Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Paul Enos, filling in for Sam Shad. Today, we're going to be talking to economist Cameron Belt about land use, water, and the economics of the Silver State. That's next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity in every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
My whole life has been public service. It's about people. And when we work together instead of yelling at each other, we get things done. We don't always get everything we want, but that's our system of government, give and take. We don't give up, we keep working, we keep pushing. And when we break ground on Nevada's first children's hospital, when crime rates come down, and when graduation rates improve, that motivates me. That's why I do it.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. We are here with economist and research director for RCG, and also he's a fellow with the Nevada Policy Research Institute, great organization that I am proud to be on the board of, Cameron Belt. Cameron, welcome to Nevada Newsmakers.
Thanks so much for having me.
So, hey, no, it's always great to have you. And I mean, you've done some great things here at the Nevada Trucking Association for us, talking about, what's going on in the economy in the state of Nevada. But where do you see things right now? How is the economy in Nevada doing? Because I talked to my truckers who are dealing with $6 fuel prices, and they're not doing well, although they see, a lot of demand side on the construction side, and, consumer may be a little down, but what are you seeing?
So whenever I talk about this, I like to start kind of at the high level and talk about the U.S. a little bit, because we can't separate Nevada out from that, right? So I like to talk about the U.S. economy in about 3 sentences. Savings are down, debt is up, and wages just aren't up enough quite yet. Those 3 things kind of spell out what's going on at a national level. And from there, we can really kind of understand how things are moving. And so with savings being down and, debt being up, consumers are seeing some serious pressure, right? Coming out of COVID, we saw a lot of demand come through Nevada, Las Vegas in general. And as a result of that, we were able to see some really great big times. But since then, with the prices being as high as they have been, with inflation being persistent, wages have kind of stuck behind that. So we've been spending a lot, and we've been taking on a little bit more debt to do that, which is okay sometimes. But when we start to see debt levels rise to the point where they were prior to the COVID shutdowns, and also delinquency starting to go up to levels where we were at around the Great Recession, there's at least some friction going on, right? And we see that, we can say, okay, things aren't rosy in general, right? But when we look at Las Vegas, we are down a little bit. We're not going to say that in Nevada generally. Tourism's down a bit, but it's not horrible. I think that unfortunately, we're not allowed to say that we're ever down. It's either needs to be, it's perfect or it's even better than perfect. But if we're being honest about this, we've seen a little bit of a decrease in visitation, right? We've seen about 10% down from our peak so far with general visitors and about 7% when it comes to convention attendees. Those are really, really important metrics. But despite that, right now, the most recent month, Nevada has been seeing the highest job growth out of any state in the entire US. It's been going like that since the beginning of the year, which is pretty impressive.
So where is that? Where are we seeing that job growth? Is that manufacturing? Is that construction? Is that, the folks in Winnemucca building out the lithium mine? I mean, where is that?
Broadly speaking, the biggest gains that we've seen, if we break it down by sectors, it's professional and business services has actually seen the lion's share so far, right? We have seen a little bit of an increase in manufacturing and a little bit of an increase. Construction's been a bit hazy, we'll say. It's not horribly down, but we were also rocking at pretty high levels before. But if you look around the entire state, we've got major projects going on. Despite any rhetoric you might hear, there are massive projects going on. You have the A's Stadium going in, right? We have the Hard Rock going in. We have a lot of different things that are working down here, down south, and then throughout the rest of the state too. But the business and professional services sectors where we've seen a lot of big growth, you have to compare that now to where we're at the U.S. level, where the majority of job growth at the U.S. level has been in what I call subsidized industries. It's mostly been in healthcare, which is good, right? But the problem is that if that's growing faster than everything else is growing, then that's squeezing the private sector economy, right? That means that we can't be adding more subsidized jobs overall than we do productive jobs that are adding to it.
I mean, Cameron, if healthcare is the one growing, I mean, doesn't that mean we're sicker, which is not really a good thing for the economy?
It means, yeah, it could be that we're sicker. Could also be that, we're living to a lot longer. So there's more people who need more care right at that point in time, which is definitely part of it as well. We are seeing some shifts in demographics. Unfortunately, when it comes to looking at birth rates and things, I think it's Henderson Hospital down here is looking at closing their maternity ward because they're declining in people actually coming to have birth there, right? If you look at the demographic shifts, unfortunately, we did this recently at RCG for a client. We're seeing the highest percentage growth in that 75 to 85 bucket and the largest percentage decline in 0 to 4, which isn't great, right? So as we're sitting here thinking about,
no, that's a bad omen for the future, right?
It's 100% a bad omen for the future. And that's where we start looking at, when you ask, how's the Nevada economy doing? I kind of, having been the economist, I have to say it depends, right? What do you mean? For who and for when? Right? Because for who right now, we can sit back and according to the data, which there could be some problems with the BLS's data due to some data integrity issues, but we'll put that aside for now. For right now, there's growth happening, but because there's also high pressures when it comes to housing affordability, we're seeing potentially a influx of retirees, right? We can't just be, a retiree community and see growth. We can still continue, we can exist, sure, but Vegas isn't about just existing, it's about thriving, right?
So Cameron, when you look at the birth rate problem, which is a civilizational problem, and that it's absolutely threatening Western civilization, how much of that is linked to, in terms of the economic pressures, housing affordability? Is that all of it? Is that some of it? I mean, is it that, hey, people have so much debt when they're coming out of college, they don't feel like they can start a family right away? I mean, what are those pressures that are driving that birth rate down?
It's funny. I think that again, the economist's answer is it depends on who you talk to because there's so many different things that can kind of affect into there, right? I do think that, yes, generally speaking, we are seeing some people who are coming out of college with higher amounts of debt and with, having to pay more and live with less. And that happens sometimes. I mean, as America has grown, we see that the core of the cities, they generally, end up being more expensive because you end up being closer to development. It's the fringes, right? Where a lot of times you end up seeing suburbs pop up where you see, cheaper developments exist, right? Well, that's good and all. And that's what kind of the story of Las Vegas has been for forever.
Well, and it's also a better place to raise a family, typically.
Exactly. But now we're at the point where we're not allowed to have really suburbs because we're at the edges of where we're allowed to develop in Southern Nevada, right? We're not allowed to go any further because everything is owned by the federal government. And so we're constrained by how we're able to grow and what we're able to do also, not just by how much land is available, but also by what we're allowed to do with it when it comes to zoning laws or minimum parking requirements or any sort of land use requirement, that is actually a limiter on our choice and a way that we can develop. And we don't see that play out until long term. And so I think that there's a lot of factors. There could be some environmental factors when it comes to declining birth rates. Also, there could be some health factors. There could be a lot of things. There's a lot of research out there that's trying to pinpoint what it is. But I think generally speaking, I think people's attitudes for the past 10, 15 years have been, oh, I'm just under, student loans, especially. How can I bring a life into here or anything else? And I think now we're trying to find our way out of it, we'll say. But yeah.
All right, we are here with economist Cameron Belt. We're talking about the economy in the state of Nevada, and we are going to be right back on Nevada Newsmakers.
This piano's in tune because I take care of it. Neglect it, and nothing sounds right. That's our economy. Congress neglects us while lining their pockets, self-dealing, insider trading, while you do more with less. One good job used to buy a home, fill your tank, raise a family. Not anymore. I'm Marty O'Donnell. I approve this message because it's time to get Congress back in tune.
This summer, all roads lead to Tamarack Casino for trucks or bucks. Win up to $5,000 in cash every week. Buckle up and win a brand new Tundra or up to $45,000 in cash. Shift the winning and your good times into high gear at Tamarack Casino.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Paul Enos, and we are here with Cameron Belt, economist and research director for RGC Economics. Cameron, but before the break, you were talking about land. When I look at some of the challenges that we have, hey, I think water, I think power. And I mean, you do think land because the federal government owns most of it. What are the, of those three kind of issues, where do we have the biggest problem?
It's a really good question. What I'll say is, if I were to stack rank these, I'd almost put energy and land at the same level of one another, to be honest with you. I'd put those two as both critical issues for a lot of different reasons. And then I'd put water after that point. And that might be different than what most people think, right? But there's a reason for that. Yes, there are challenges when it comes to water. There's challenges with any finite resource that exists out there, right? Whenever we have something that is especially determined by weather patterns and also determined by a bunch of different actors on our main water source, it's something that we have to be concerned with and aware of. We can't just, sit back and just accept whatever comes necessarily. We have to be proactive. And to that end, we have been very proactive to make sure that, at least in Southern Nevada, we are very water secure. The Water Authority says that we are the most water secure state in the West, right? That's awesome. It doesn't get talked about enough, but it's true. They've done a lot of really good things when it comes to making sure that we're able to recycle our water, continue to use that water, and also put the third drain pipe within Lake Mead to make sure that as long as the lake doesn't get down to dead pool, we're good. Right. So it's something for us to be aware about. But according to them, I think we've got well over 30, if not 40 years of water security. So that's not something to just set aside and say, like, OK, now let's not think about it. But it is to say, what are the other issues at the other two? Are they a little bit more time, sensitive? On the land side, when we look at land that's available, and let's just call it Southern Nevada right now, because I've got the numbers in my head, we can use for large scale development. we're probably going to be out of that by about 2030.
Okay, so we've got 30 to 40 years of water, but only 3.5 years of available land.
We're right around there, yes. And so what it comes down to is it just depends on the different ways you look at it. There's a lot of narratives that are out there about here's how much land exists within Las Vegas, and if you fly into Vegas, you see it. We're surrounded by a sea of barren land, right? The problem is that it's all owned by the federal government. We've kept the growth of Clark County down to less than 7% of the land mass of the entire county. All of our growth exists within 7%. That makes us actually one of the densest cities in the US. People are worried about urban sprawl, and we're in the top 20 most dense cities out there, which is just really funny to hear, right? So all these arguments against development that occurs, especially in Southern Nevada, and this is the same thing with Northern Nevada too, right? But a lot of that, these are worries, but they don't match the analysis. They don't match this reality. And the other piece of it too is not all the land that exists out here is usable. I can't build a large scale manufacturing facility on the side of a hill, right? I can't even build it on something that has got more than 5 degrees of slope. And that limits a lot of these things, right? And so we need these large acres of land in order for us to build employment centers. Because if we don't build those employment centers, then we will only have a city full of retirees. If there's no jobs for them to have, then there's no reason for them for productive people to be here, right? But then on top of that, we look at energy costs, like you brought up too. And with AI and data centers coming in, it is putting definitely a lot of strain on here. Our principal of RCG, John Restrepo, actually put out a really, really awesome explainer looking at how much our grid throughout the state might be constrained or stretched thin as a result of a lot of these data centers coming in, right? The data center issue is more about electricity than it is about water, to be honest with you. Water is used, sure, to some extent, but they're finding ways to do more with less, right? Switch wouldn't be spending billions of dollars here if they didn't think they wouldn't be able to have the resource available to run their operations, right? So what we do need to figure out is how can we get the most electricity for the cheapest price to serve these productive capacities? And that's something that I'll say this, I'm not a utilities expert. All I can say is when we look at other places, we are seeing higher prices compared to, I think, Phoenix, compared to even Idaho. And in Idaho, I've been told that they've actually got a pretty nice competitive market up there for electricity. So you don't have to go with only one provider.
Sure. Well, and they have hydro up there too. And I mean, Idaho's in a blessed place in terms of energy. Let's get back to land, being one of those issues. And I think one of the things that makes that a tougher issue to solve is we need a broken institution, which is the United States Congress, to actually fix it. And while Mark Amadei and, hey, even back to Harry Reid were tremendously successful in getting land back in control of local parties in Nevada, I think those days are done. We saw that with the last lands bill. And it's not just the folks on the right, the folks on the left, the no development environmental folks. It's the folks on the right, a lot of it driven by immigration issues saying, no, we don't want to give away our public land.
Yeah, to be honest with you, whenever there's conversations around we shouldn't do this that involve, something, examples like you just said, it's what I call anti-human, where no, we're not allowed to have growth, right? That's just anti-human, right? And the other side is also anti-human too, because we don't want those people. But what it comes down to is it's two sides of the same coin. It's using the government, Congress or even state legislatures or whatever it is. It's using the public sector to create some sort of change that we want to see. The ends are different for different reasons, but the means, the way of doing that is the exact same. It's a prohibition, right? It's saying that some group who's more than 3,000 miles away is allowed to determine what exists within our state. That makes no sense to me. That is anti-federalist, right? It is so far away from what we should be looking at and understanding according to at least our laws, right? Now we might debate whether or not that exists, but whether or not that should exist, but that's what we have, right? And so when we sit back here and ask this question of how are we supposed to grow our cities and grow our state when we're under the thumb, right? And then also, let's just forget about the anti-arguments for this. Let's just look at procedurally getting other congressional members to support us on this. our federal delegation has done a very good job about beating this drum. They really, truly have. I mean, whoever it is, Catherine Cortez Masto, Amade, everybody across the board, they've picked it up and said, we're going to go try this, right? The trouble is trying to get any amount of buy-in for this is so, so hard. And it primarily because nobody gets it. So almost about 89% of the entire state of Nevada is federally controlled. The next closest state is Utah at around 65 to 70%. Nobody gets it. Nobody understands what we're under, right? So for us to sit back and say, hey, we need this. And they go, why? It's not an issue for us, so we can't really get it, right? And then on top of that, like you mentioned, Harry Reid and Senator Bryan towards the end of the 90s did something that this is the one thing I'll sing Harry Reid's praises on, to be honest with you, was passing the Southern Nevada Public Land Management Act.
Yeah.
It's a long, long name and the acronym is SNPLA. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But it's a big circle around Las Vegas, right? That said everything within the circle that's federally owned. They pre-authorize the sale. That's awesome. Because before, every single parcel would have taken an act of Congress to sell any individual parcel. So they did that. Great. We're now at the limit of that. That's the trouble. But no other state has anything like that. So they think we've got preferential treatment, plus we have a problem that they don't get. So how do we get support from people to get votes?
All right. We're here with economist Cameron Bell. We're talking about Nevada, land issues, and the economy. And we're going to be right back on Nevada Newsmakers.
2025 is bringing big changes for Nevada businesses. If you have more than 5 employees and have been operating for 3 years or more, you must now comply with new state retirement plan mandates. The Vegas Chamber 401k plan makes it easy, offering a proven, customizable, and cost-effective plan for employers and employees to save with tax advantages. Visit vegaschamber.com to explore options and see how the Vegas Chamber can help you start saving for your future.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. We are here with economist Cameron Bell. Cameron, I see you have a book behind you. Tell me about that.
I do. This is my book that I just released the last month. It's called Economics for Busy People. Here it is right here is the cover. It's really short, really quick. Every chapter is meant to be read at an 8th grade level and in 5 minutes. It takes you all the way from why should we care about economics to questions like, can markets even be moral? My idea for this is economics is the most important but least used science in your life, your community, and your business. And so I really wanted to give everybody a primer on this that makes it accessible and that makes it useful.
Well, hey, I love that, Cameron. Hey, you and I are also big fans of Friedrich Hayek. One of my favorite, free market, Road to Serfdom, right? Was his book. But hey, you and I also share something with Mr. Hayek, and we're both snuff aficionados. So tell me about your experience with that.
That's exactly right. So I came up to give a talk to the Nevada Trucking Association and Manufacturers Association a few years ago, and you and I sat down and you said, hey, you want a little bit of snuff? And I said, you know what's funny about that is Hayek was actually a huge fan, and there's an old black and white video of him actually talking about the benefits of doing snuff and being able to be intellectually productive. And so I found that pretty funny.
No, hey, the days before Zen, man, that was a cognitive enhancer. And I mean, you just have to make sure people know you're not doing cocaine.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. No, it is a tobacco product and only tobacco product. So yeah, used in moderation, it can definitely be one of those things that nicotine can help you focus in.
It wins the Nobel Prize. So, hey, it worked. All right. Hey, Cameron, thank you so much. Appreciate having you on. And we're going to be right back on Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome to the Ahern Hotel, where bold ambition meets unforgettable experiences. Feel your game day vibes and celebrate with great food at All American Sports Kitchen, serving amazing flavors and fan favorites. Sip and savor at Aroma Barista Bar. Handcrafted coffee roasted to perfection. Step into the Ahern Live showroom, where concerts, comedy, and unforgettable performances light up the night. We also have the David Yule Art Gallery. It's the only one in the world, and his work is breathtaking. Browse the gift shop. It's a treasure trove of keepsakes, chic essentials, and one-of-a-kind finds. And the space. Almost 30,000 square feet of meetings and events areas ready for you. From weddings and birthdays to quinceañeras, trade shows, banquets, and beauty pageants. Bigger ideas? Let the Ahern team handle all the details so your event is flawless. Ahern Hotel, where moments become memories. Book your next gathering today.
We're the Peters family, 2 combat veterans, our daughter Elle, and our Liberty Dogs puppy in training, Cooper.
Cooper will grow up to be a life-changing companion to a veteran with visible or invisible challenges.
We're helping Cooper build focus and confidence so he's ready to support his veteran.
And we know he will help bring happiness and independence to his veteran's life.
So join us, become a puppy raiser, and change lives, one puppy at a time.
At Nevada Urban Indians in Reno, your health is our priority. Our medical clinic welcomes everyone. We accept all insurances, ensuring quality care is within reach. Nevada Urban Indians, your partners in health.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Hey, I'm Paul Enos. Always great to be here on the show. If you missed any of today's show or would like to watch our archives, you can go to NevadaNewsmakers.com. Thanks for watching and listening.